Hi, I'm doing some solve critiques for JT Cubes, or Jonathan Truchot, and it was originally going to be an average of 5, but he misscrambled 2 of them, 2 solves, so it's a mean of 3 now. Okay, Scrambles will be in the description for this. And so this is the first solve. And what you did was you inserted this blue piece so that these 2 are solved. You did D prime R prime to solve this. And then you did a D, and then you had a big pause, and you looked over here, and you did D prime R prime D. And the reason that's a big problem is you could easily just do an R, D prime, R prime, and then you can just insert this and then do a D. So that's the same solution except with cancellations. But yeah, okay. Anyway, so now you also had a kind of a pause. You had to do a Y2 to see your first pair, and you saw these 2, which you solved normally, which was just like U2 R U prime R prime, U2 R U prime R prime. So that's fine. Your next pair, you did a Y prime. Yeah, U2, you did this one, but this one's obviously way better. You could just do that, and then that will set this one up as a better case. But you saw this one, and you solved it kind of weirdly. At first, you were in this rotation, so you could just solve it like this, and I'll pair them up. You can just insert. But you did a Y prime. You saw this. You did a U. You took out this edge, another rotation, and you just solved this pair like this. So that was pretty weird. But I probably would have done the same or just solved the other pair to make it better. So yeah, you didn't really have a choice. Next pair, you had these 2, which you solved like this. And that's standard. But I think it would be just a better option to, instead of using U2s like that, you just do U primes and then a U and insert. I think it's a bit faster than that. This might be faster, but you just did that. So yeah. Okay, now you have this pair, which is really easily solved just like this. And you would have gotten this really easy case, a 2 flip. But instead, you did something weird. You rotated, inserted this corner, and then you solved this case like this. And you rotate it again, like that. It's a funny solution, but even if you did do that, I would recommend doing a sledgehammer to orient 2 edges instead of just inserting like this. But that's what you did. So now you have this Olo, and I really like how you executed this. You did this, and you did an S, and you just did the rest of the alg. But I think what most people do is something like this, and I don't think that's really that good. I also use this way, like you did, and that's really nice. Okay, now you just have this U-perm, which you executed really weirdly. You did this one, that out, but I think you used the right hand for the M moves, and it kind of just became a mess, and that kind of ruined the solve. Instead, what you could do is use your left hand for the M2s. You use your right index finger to stretch over here and do the U prime. Use your middle finger to push down. Do a U2 flick, use your middle finger again, and then you stretch like this again, U prime, and use M2. And that can be really fast. And that's your solve, the 20.00. We'll get wrecked. Scramble number 2, you had this cross case, and what you did was really inefficient. What you did was a D prime, so then you can align this piece. You did a U, and you inserted this piece. You did a rotation, a U prime, and just inserted that piece. Instead, what you could have done was that since blue is right here, you can insert green like that so that these two are correct in relation to each other. Then F, you could do an F and then G prime, and then just solve red and orange. But that's not what you did. Moving on to F2L, you had a pretty bad case for F2L because these two colors are on the bottom layer and it's pretty hard to find the first pair. But you saw this one, which you could have easily solved by breaking them up and inserting. But instead what you did was a Y2, and then instead of breaking them up like that, you solved it a different way, like this, which is good in some occasions, like for edge control or not having rotations, but in this case it's probably just better to do that. But you did this, which I guess is acceptable, but maybe think about that in the future, and you inserted. Okay, next you saw this pair, which you could have easily solved just by breaking them up, inserting, all without rotations. But instead, you solved it really weirdly. You did a Y prime, you inserted this corner, you did a U prime, and then you set the pair up like this, then you rotate it again and insert it. So that is really inefficient. One, there's 2 rotations, and 2, it has a lot more moves. So you solve pairs really inefficiently and with lots of rotation, so try to solve as many pairs as you can without rotations. But anyway, now you have this case. So you solve this pair, which is probably what I would have done, just like this, which is good. And here, you rotated, set them up like that, rotate it again, and insert. But instead what you could have done was a U, and then there's this really useful algorithm you can use for this particular case, and it goes like this, which is basically just L prime, U prime, LU, sledgehammer, but you did it this way, which gave you this OL, which is pretty nice. You just solved it normally, like that. And now for PLL, what you did was something like this. Wait, no, that's not what you did. Okay, I messed up. Okay, so this is what you had for PLL, and you used this alg like that. But what you did was you did a U prime, a rotation, and then you did the alg. You did like a weird rotation and then did a D. And what you could easily have done was just the alg and then you were done. And that easily could have been like a 15 or 16, but that's not what you did. But it ended up being the best solve of your mean. So that's solve number 2. Okay, last solve, it was really weird because you did some turns and then realized that you didn't start the timer yet, and then you dropped the cube and then you started the timer and picked it up and just continued your solve. So that was weird. Anyway, what you did, I think your solution was okay. Yeah. So what you did was you did an F prime, E2, R prime to solve these two. and then that will set this one up, F, and then you do rotation and insert it. I don't like the rotations, but I think the cross selection was okay. Okay, so your first pair, you solve this, and you could solve this rotationlessly. One, you can maybe, this is kind of weird, but you can take this edge out, do a D prime, insert the edge, and then do a D. But that's kind of weird. You can do that, but what you did was you rotated, you took out the edge, and then you just solved this pair. Next, you solve this pair, which you could easily just solve like this, but instead, you inserted this corner, did a U, a sledgehammer, and instead of just inserting it like that, or just like that, or whatever, you accidentally inserted it like this into the wrong slot, so that was a really big choke. Next, this pair, you could have just solved it like that or something, or done this, but, crap, what did I do? There you go. What you did was you inserted this corner, did a sledgehammer, and that's how you set up the pair, which was really weird, but that's what you did. And now here you realize that you put this pair in the wrong slot, so you're about to insert this pair, but then you was like, oh wait, no. And then you took out this pair, did rotation, insert this one, another rotation, and insert that one. And that is just really weird. Okay, next you just had this pair, which I probably would have just solved like this, like I've said in past solves, but you just have a habit of doing this case, like that. And now for Olo, you did Olo like this, but I think the way you executed was kind of inefficient and just awkward. So try doing it like this, and then for the U's you can like push with your entire wrist, and then just finish the rest of the alg. But if you don't like that alg, you can do it from this angle. Do an anti-tune, F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. And that's the alg I use, and I think it's a lot better. But you did this. And now all you had left was an F perm. And you can do all PLLs rotationless, unless your PLL, the alg itself needs a rotation like an A perm or an E perm, you know. But you had an F perm, and you could have just done a U prime, the F perm, and then just another U prime. But instead, you did a U2, a Y, and then you did the F perm, and that uses rotation, and I don't think that's as good as the other one. And since you messed up a lot, and just overall choked, you got that 23, which was the worst solve of your mean, and that's it, so bye.